everyone. Are we live? I'm trying to do the Instagram thing as well. Bear with me. Bear with me. Bear with me. It doesn't seem to want to go. Oh, there we go. Yay! Oh my goodness, that is glitchy. Ay. Okay. Movement and cancer. Let's get to it. I'm very distracted by my sea swimming hair. And okay, here we go. I think we're live. Yeah, it's a bit glitchy, isn't it? So I wanted to talk about more and more of my story. And so today I woke up and it was the first day in weeks that I thought, oh, I want to go for a run. Now, running has a big place in my heart. It was the first thing I did when I had cancer. And I need to talk about the story because the story is actually a spiritual one and it relates to my energy healing work, clairvoyant energy healing work. So when I had the diagnosis, I was living in Maine on the east coast of the US, and I was married, not feeling very happy. I wasn't doing anything in my life at that point that I wanted to do. I was really very lost, very, very lost. So when I got this cancer diagnosis, it was almost a relief, really. It was like, oh, that's what's going on with me, because I knew there was something going on. I was so disconnected. And it was the middle of winter, and I don't know if you know Maine. Some of you will, watching from the States. Maine in winter is proper winter, proper winter. It can snow in December and not thaw till May. So for someone from the UK who's used to spring, that was a bit difficult to deal with. But I started going on these long walks. And I was out one day, and I think it was after the diagnosis. My memory's a bit foggy. And I heard, it was like a voice in my head say, I want to go faster. And that's how it started. And I suddenly realized that my body wanted to run. I'd never been a runner. I think maybe when I was a small child at school, I'd quite enjoyed it, but I'd never done it. So I got a pair of trainers and I started running. And it was the beginning of my reconnection with movement as part of my recovery from cancer. I need to check something here. I don't know what is going on. I don't think we're going live on Instagram. Oh, well. It was part of my recovery, healing from cancer, to reconnect with movement. And running is the simplest movement. I had learned about exercise throughout my originally trained in dance, and had always been interested in movement and exercise anyway. And I think prior to this, I'd read at least one book on exercise. And it talked about running being the most effective form of exercise in terms of burning calories, because of it uses the big muscles in the body, etc. This was not what was in my head when the words came through and said, I want to go faster. And so it began slowly. And then every day I would put my shoes on and I would go out. My head in the air, my feet on the ground, and somewhere to go. And that was all I needed. And what was so amazing about it was that it just kept reconnecting me back in my body. And for me, running at that time was like meditation. It gave me a clear mind. I was in motion, so my system, my body was happy. I was processing everything that was coming up. So this was things that were coming up mentally. I was going through levels of detoxification because I was on a very strict vegan diet at this point. So there was so much coming out of my system, and running gave me that space to process and be connected at the same time. And so when people talk about exercise sort of almost feeling like it's something out there, I always think back to this story, because it was the first thing that came to me. It was the first thing I did that really kickstarted the healing process. And because I was out there on my own. And I remember running at all times of the day and night. I don't know if I do it now, but if I couldn't sleep, I would put my shoes on at 11 o'clock at night and out I would go. And at this point, I had moved from the States back to the UK and back in with my family. So I was in my 30s with a sense of I'm not even sure where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing. And running kind of gave me some purpose. It gave me, I still love it to this day. It's still where I get my best ideas. And when I get my best ideas come through when I'm running, which can be a bit of a pain because I don't like to take a phone or anything with me. So I have to remember them. I'm like, oh, that would be a really good blog, and I'm on, kilometer 2 of 10. So I've got a while before I get back. And I don't want to break up the run because I love it. And so it was a massive part of my recovery. It was the first thing. And when I didn't know what else to do, I put my shoes on and went out and ran. So I wanted to talk about that as a piece of the healing, because and that wouldn't have come about had I not had a good space connection with meditation, had I not had the background of the mind-body training behind me, that would not have come about, because I had that clear sense come through me of I need to go faster. And that was when I bought the shoes. So I could only get to that place from having had that meditation and clearing my screen here, my third eye, my clairvoyance, to be able to interpret the information coming through that said, this is what you need to do for your healing. Now, I'm not saying everyone who has a health issue should take up running. What I am saying is we have to be able to listen to what's coming through our bodies. We have to be able to interpret. And in order to do that, we have to clear our energy field. We have to have our energy running. We have to be able to kind of interpret from an intuitive perspective. So this is what I do when I work with people. Movement may be a part of it. Movement may be a part of your healing journey. It usually is for most people. It's finding what the movement is that works for them. And it's different for different people. There is no one answer. There is no right answer. There is only your answer. And in my clairvoyant coaching sessions, this is what we get to. I use that ability, that clairvoyance, to look at your energy field, to see what's going on with you, to see what's affecting you, what's stopping you from living the life you want to live, being happy and healthy. And then we look for what will help you get back to that place. Movement can be one strand of that. Because if there's a stagnancy in your system, sometimes it's actually physically moving that moves it. It's literal. And I have this sense all the time. Sometimes I'm doing a lot statically, and I think I've literally got to go and be in motion. I've got to go and be in motion somewhere, doing something. And it could be lyrical dance, free dance for me. It could be shoes on and out for a run. It could be in the sea like today. It could be going for a swim in a swimming pool. And it varies. And I'm now at the point on my own healing journey where I've got a palette of movement things, programs I can tap into, I can access. And I am at the point in my own intuition with my connection to the divine that I can interpret pretty quickly what's coming through. And so, but it wasn't always that way. It wasn't always that way. And cancer was my gateway in to a better connection with the divine. And that's what I really want to help other women with out there, is fine-tuning that connection, making sure you have all those pieces in place: mindset, movement, connection to yourself and the divine. What are you eating? How are you feeling? Emotions are a big part. We'll talk about that in another video. And are you looking after yourself? Are you living the life you want to live? How can we put that in place? Are you self-caring? So there's a lot that goes on. And in the sessions, I look at your energy field and we see what's happening. Sometimes you might come in with a symptom like a health issue, or you might be really tired, or you might be struggling in your relationship. That would be the symptom. But there might be something else going on underlying that, that when we look at your energy field comes out. And as we talk about that bigger picture, or kind of the crux of the matter that's behind it, then we can start to create a plan in place. And as I'm sharing through this video, movement was a big piece of my journey from recovery from cancer, which stemmed from elements in my own life. I'm going to leave it there for now. But if you're interested in working with me, DM me the word psychic, and we can book in for a session. Have a good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world.